PlayStation Plus gives you access to hundreds of titles that let you live out your wildest dreams. Whether you want to become a wrestling superstar in WWE 2K22 or explore the stars in Mass Effect Legendary Edition, you can dive into a fresh adventure each month. There are 3 memberships to choose from, each one giving you access to extra content depending on your style. If you're into trying out all sorts of different games, check out the Essential membership, which gives you access to monthly games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage, game help, and the PlayStation Plus collection. If you're looking to expand your gaming horizons, the Extra membership gives you everything in the Essential membership, plus a huge game catalog with hundreds of games and the Ubisoft Plus Classics library. And finally, the Premium membership is the ultimate experience, giving everything in the Essential and Extra memberships, plus access to game trials, the Classics catalog of great games from previous PlayStation generations, and so much more. It's a lot to choose from, so we understand that it can be hard to pick one title to start on. Thankfully, IGN Playlist is a handy tool on IGN.com that you can use to keep track of the games that you've completed, games you're playing now, or games you want to play in the future. It's a great way to keep your library organized and find new games you might not even heard of. So to help you get started, here's 5 recommendations. Let's dive into Brian Altano's playlist of horror games available on PlayStation Plus that you should try, presented by PlayStation Plus.
Okay, let's kick things off with Blasphemous, a gorgeously animated and utterly gruesome 2D pixel art Metroidvania that rewards skill, aggression, and intrigue. It's dense with grotesque horrors, challenging platforming sections, huge boss fights, and more. Now, there have been tons of attempts to modernize the exploration-based vintage side-scrolling games of the olden days of gaming to, well, various degrees of success, but Blasphemous is easily one of the best of the bunch. Just a warning though, this game is tough as hell, but if you stick with it, you'll learn to memorize enemy patterns, you'll learn to crush your enemies, and discover every secret that this big game has to offer. If you're a horror game fan like me, you've probably played a ton of zombie games, but Ubisoft Zombie is a special one that definitely deserves your attention. The big gameplay hook here is permadeath. You play as a survivor of the zombie apocalypse across a torn-to-bits London, making your way through dark corridors and run-down buildings until you're ultimately mauled by zombies, which will probably happen sooner than you planned. Now, once you perish, you restart as a different survivor and head out to retrieve your previous character's backpack full of essential weapons and ammo, slowly unlocking shortcuts through the world as you go. It's tense and terrifying, but also immensely satisfying. Just don't get too attached to your character. They probably won't survive the night. Up next, one of the most iconic and classic action RPGs ever made got an unbelievably great-looking next-gen remake on the PlayStation 5 launch day. Demon's Souls originally launched on the PS3 in 2009, but the definitive way to experience it is only on PlayStation 5 thanks to its completely overhauled visuals, sound, and very excellent usage of DualSense controller features. You'll creep through epic castles, horrifying sewers, and, well, more than likely get crushed to smithereens repeatedly by gigantic enemies. Luckily, you'll have tons of customization options for weapons, armor sets, and more to help you hold your own. Demon's Souls is one of the best exclusive games on PS5, and it's so awesome that you can play through it via PlayStation Plus. Keeping the momentum going for very tough action RPGs that are drenched in themes of horror, Mortal Shell is an excellent Souls-like game. It's both smaller in scale and scope than your typical Souls-like game, but it still manages to pack a punch, or at least several large sword stabs. Mortal Shell's unique twist on the genre is, well, it's shells. You'll inhabit different shells, which basically means finding corpses around the world and then using them as a protective layer to get a second chance at survival, which, you'll definitely need because this game is the opposite of a walk in the park. And finally, this last game might be my favorite PlayStation game of all time, and I'm so happy to get to spotlight it here. Bloodborne is the definitive action horror RPG to me. Aesthetically, it's on a completely different level than every other game out there. The creature designs are unmatched, horrible, vile, gigantic monsters that are dripping with style and, well, other weird substances. The world itself might be the real star though, and creeping around it and attempting to survive is endlessly exhilarating, even if it's constantly trying to kill you. The way the landscape connects as you unlock pathways through tons of disparate, terrifying environments is super satisfying, as is tackling Bloodborne's massive boss monsters. I think I've beaten this game like 6 or 7 times now, and every time I replay it, I make sure to use a different weapon build and build out my character with different stats, which makes every playthrough feel fresh. I even got the Platinum Trophy in the main game and all of the DLC because Bloodborne rules. If you love horror, action RPGs, or just video games in general, I promise you'll find something to love here.
Which of these games look the scariest? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click the links in the description to go to Brian's IGN playlist and see the full list of games available on PlayStation Plus, so you can easily add them to an IGN playlist of your own. IGN Playlist is the best way to keep track of the games that you're focusing on. It's a great way to keep your backlog organized and find tons of new games you might not have heard of. PlayStation Plus is available now and gives you access to all of these games and tons more. Find out about all the benefits like cloud streaming and games in the Classics catalog by visiting PlayStation.com/PS Plus. Make sure to check out the latest games added this month, including Far Cry 5, Yakuza 6 Song of Life, and more. And for all things gaming, you are already in the right place, IGN.